Parting shot of a quick work section. That ceiling panel needs replaced. I don't think there's any way around that. And there's an aluminum frame, and that's it. Okay, we are calling this day 4. Apologies for the generator behind me, but it provides light. I decided, with the help of my wonderful partner, to not change out all of the ceiling panels, which have probably added 2 to 3 weeks to this job, given that I'm working on it on weekends. So I just sprayed it with Kills, and I am about to glue some construction adhesive, lay some construction adhesive under these aluminum ribs. And what I wanted to show everybody is the original adhesive mostly missed the ribs, which is not amazing build quality, but we're all coming to learn that about travel trailers, ultralights especially. But ironically, it was the roof sagging that teed me off that there was a leak, so whatever, mixed blessings. But yeah, I just wanted to document this adhesive right here. There's another leg of it underneath here that I can feel. I don't know if you're gonna see. Whatever. I got work to do. If it is dumb and it works, it is not dumb. We will see tomorrow which this is. This is how I am clamping the ceiling boards, ceiling panels to the aluminum ribs, upon the bottom of which I just put construction adhesive. I might actually be able to see those. Oh, I turned it around. I got the glue on there. Not a lot of gap. I could use a little more back there. I can see 1, 2, 3 ribs back. But the sag on these closest two was the primary sag I needed to concern with. So, glue them up and hold them in place. We'll see what happens. The gluing of the panels seems to have worked. Before I started, I put stickers where the ribs ought to be, which were a couple inches off, but anyhow, it doesn't have any of the flex that it did before, except for in the spots where there is no ribs, but the ribs are not sagging. Panels are not sagging underneath the ribs. So, yay! Still got to get back over here a little bit. Where are we at? Here. That's not bad. Actually, these aren't too bad. I'll see what they look like when I dig into the roof above me. But this, generally, I'm calling it a success. These are secured on here. Leave it. Good deal. Starting what I think I'll call day 6, I've taken the second full panel off. The bathroom's over there. You can see the vents. Some more water damage, which is not from the original water damage. I'm pretty sure this is different stuff. Anyhow, I'm going to spray that down with Kills. My plan is to replace, that was from there to there was one panel, from there to there was another panel, and then there was a section of panel there. That was the first one I took off. That had the worst water damage on it. I am going to replace this one first so that I can use the template of the piece I just took off. You can see the bathroom vent there. I'm going to use That piece I took off as a template for cutting the vent and antenna holes. I will secure it up against this panel, which is also going to get replaced, but I'm going to use that piece as a template so that I know starting from here going that way, that'll all be the same measurements, so I can use that as a template to cut that, and then I can replace that panel. That's the plan of attack today. Spray some kills, get some random screws out of the aluminum here that didn't come out, and hopefully I'll have some decking on by the end of the day. Securing the next two ribs to ceiling panel. Worth noting that I put some marks on the ceiling where those ribs are. Help me line up my support. I got the construction glue up top, and we're doing pretty good. Yeah. There was visible gaps there and there. Sucked them up. Got my kills on. Progress continues. Dry fit of the new decking, and it's gonna work. A little tight on that vent back there, but it will go down. It'll line up. I can slide this over a hair. We got room. This vent fits. That's tight. I could open that up a little bit with a jigsaw maybe. This vent's in a good spot. Yeah, baby. Moving along. All right. Next part is put some insulation in these areas. Most of the spacing between the aluminum ribs here is approximately 16 inches on center, a lot like house construction. So your normal batt insulation is going to fit right on in there. I'm replacing all the insulation. This is R15 versus R13, which is, a little better insulation. And I think R13 is probably what the old stuff was, just because that's the cheapest thing that could happen, be in here. Not doing a higher R value because that stuff is thicker. Yeah, it wouldn't do me any good with these. It's about 3.5 inches at most at the top of the ribs there. So there will be some compression down at the edges, which, gives you lesser insulation value. What I am doing here, I'm told that a utility knife will cut that stuff. Told by internet searching. I didn't want to buy a different whatever kind of blade for it, so I'm going to try that out. The dry fit of the plywood that you saw before, it's all under there. I opened up the hole for that second vent a little more with the jigsaw, so it fits in a little easier, and I'm not stressing that vent as I squeeze it in there. I put kills on the second panel here, so all of the dark spots of the ceiling panels have kills on it, and safety gear for dealing with fiberglass, just to keep it from getting me all itchy. I don't want to breathe it when I cut the fibers. I don't want it in my eyes. I taped some junk around my forearms to keep it from getting up in my sleeves and the buttonholes. So off we go. Yes, a utility knife, carpet knife, works really well. That's cutting right through this fiberglass. No problem. There was only one section that was actually 15.5 inches. So everything else got cut lengthwise. Those three. The pieces I'm sitting on right here, at least 2 or maybe 3 spaces are normal, so that'll go easier. Cutting around the vents was not hard. this is ready to go on there. All right, so progress for sure. Insulation is under there. I ended up pulling up, ripping off some bits of insulation on the edges. Again, this is 3.5 inch insulation. At the ends, the rafters, the ribs are about 1.75. So I ripped some of that stuff off to keep it from pushing the plywood up, which again is fine. If you're compressing that insulation anyhow, you're losing R value, so I may as well rip it out. Another detail, even though I'm using self-tapping screws, multi-material screws, I am pre-drilling the holes for securing it down. These were not pre-drilled and it's tearing up the plywood. These were pre-drilled and they're going in a lot cleaner. Also, handily, the manufacturer marked on the edge wall where the rafters are, and for the most part, and I actually went ahead with pencil marks before I screwed everything down and did the same. Then I ran a chalk line for each of my rafters so that I know where to drill my middle supports into. On the edges here, they look to be going every, I don't know, fist and a thumb. Looking at the original holes, and on the long ways, it's about 2 full hang looses. So that's what I'm copying for my density of screwing these things down. The wood is holding me. I can feel a little give if I step right in the middle of these 15 inch on center, 16 inch on center. So I think the 3/8 / aka 11/32 sheathing that I chose, it's not quite as structural as the 3/8 OSB I took off. It might have been a little more than 3/8 even. It's a fair deal lighter, which I wanted because I am using EPDM, which is going to be a lot heavier than the vinyl I took off. For the top surface is EPDM rubber, which is going to be heavier than the vinyl I took off. PVC, I don't know if it's PVC or TPO. But while it is holding me, it's not, I can feel a little give there, so I'm not going to do jumping jacks. And I'm going to make a point to step on the ribs as long as I know where they are. And it'll hold me well enough on the occasions that I do end up getting up here. Back to it. Another tip I want to point out, when you're putting these in, before the screw taps into the metal underneath, the plywood has a habit of climbing up, and that can split. It can really mess up some plywood. Like it, I had that one screwed in, was putting this one in, or that one, this one, because I missed there, and it pulled the whole corner up and pulled the head right through the wood as the wood came up. So the tip is, as you're screwing these in, press down, hold the wood down until the screw bites into the wood, and you'll get less wood damage. Wrapping up day 6. 2 roof pieces on. They're clean, they're tight, they're mostly square. The vents line up. That stuff's easier. I'm just admiring my work.